Peace. My name is Tia, and I'm gonna show you guys a few things that I do to increase my flexibility and also work on my splits, since I've had actually a number of people ask me about it. And really, I haven't been a person who's always been able to get into splits. It has taken like consistent stretching and building up to coming into splits in order for me to get there. And so please note, I'm talking about splits this way, not the other way. So splits like from the front essentially is something that I'm still working on. I am not there at all. So mainly it's about your hips. It's like stretching your hips or opening up your hips, and also getting your hamstrings looser, and releasing that tightness and tension there. A passive way to do it, which doesn't feel so strenuous or as strenuous, would be to come into legs up the wall. And remember, if you're in legs up the wall, you want your bottom to be right up against the wall. And so you start here and actually allow your feet to come apart. Gravity will do the work for you, essentially. And so that's why this is more of a passive approach to stretching out and opening up the hips, which will also help with the other splits as well. So you're here for however many breaths, like really at least 10 breaths, I would say, and practice just being and allowing your muscles to start to relax and release. Naturally, that will happen if you're able to be here and breathe. As your your muscles here and your inner thighs start to release, then your feet will come down lower. Coming out, be very, very gentle and careful. Always move with care with your body. Maybe find some counter movements. And to come out of it, roll over to one side and then come up, right? As far as stretching specifically for splits, runner's pose is great for this. And breathe, and you can start to inch your foot up and see where you are. Now, remember, if you need some added support for your knees, that's where a folded blanket will come into play, or a towel, a folded blanket or a folded towel. If you have some sort of cushion, because I'm all about like doing things as passively as possible so it doesn't feel so drastic and hard, and you don't want to force your body to do anything. So I actually have a bolster. I have two bolsters that I use for a number of different things. So you can grab like a cushion or pillow that's pretty firm and use it for support here. Right? And breathe. Always breathe. So I'm starting to feel a stretch here in my hams, opening happening in my hips. My left quad is also stretching. And I'm not doing anything. I'm just allowing my body to settle into this stretch. I'm supported, and that's another thing about using blocks. So you have that extra support, because sometimes it's hard for our body to catch on and like really let go because it doesn't necessarily feel supported. When you come out of the stretch, definitely move your body. This movement here on your knees is a great counter movement. You can also lie on your back with your knees bent so the soles of your feet rest on the mat wider than hips distance apart, and move your knees from side to side like windshield wipers. Essentially, it's mimicking the same movement as this. And you do the same thing on the other side. Remember to be careful with your body and listen to your body. This side for me is actually tighter. And another thing is you can use blocks or a stack of books to rest your hands on if you need to feel more supported. So we're just breathing here, right? And you come out with as much ease as you possibly can. Another way to stretch out your hamstrings will be to come here and then start to shift your hips back so that your leg straightens. Your toes will release from the mat, your heel stays planted, and then you would inhale, come up halfway, exhale, and fold over that leg and breathe. The most important thing is to meet your body where it is. And so today, my hamstrings are super, super tight, and so are my glutes and my quads. Most of my stress and anxiety has been manifesting in my lower body. And so I've been working or practicing a little bit more, stretching a little bit more, and focusing on my lower body because I feel a lot tighter than I used to. And so notice again, I'm finding that counter movement. Still breathing. And then I switch. And of course, I'm not staying in this as long as I normally would. I really just wanted to show you all what I do. There isn't a particular order for me. I really play around and listen to my body and do what my body is asking for, essentially. Again, finding that counter movement. Yeah. Stay in tune with your body and your breath. Use props. Right now, this particular pose, this particular lunge is feeling really good for me. Really what you want to develop is more of a yin practice where you're staying in these stretches and poses for a longer amount of time, for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, right? Staying connected with the breath. We have to get comfortable with being still and listening to our bodies, as well as our minds and our hearts. Another good stretch for stretching out the backs of the legs would be a seated forward fold. Remember, again, I'm all about passive stretch, like passive things to help loosen the body and help relax in the body to increase flexibility. And so here you're seated, legs extended straight out in front of you. Both feet are flexed, so your toes are pointing up towards the sky. This helps protect our knees. And you're sitting nice and tall as you possibly can. Core is engaged. Shoulders are down and back away from your ears. Your hands will rest at your sides. This is staff pose. Inhale and extend your arms straight up. Exhale, fold, and think about hinging from the hips. So it's like you inhale, creating space, engaging the core. Exhale and fold forward. Keep your back as straight as possible for as long as possible. And when you reach that edge where you can't keep it straight anymore, round and let your hands rest wherever feels best. Your chin would come in towards your chest and breathe. You can also do this with a strap or a belt. Either way, stay connected with breath. And you would stay there, I would say, for 5 to 10 breaths. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Come out slowly and maybe even come into it a second or even a third time. Next, you would need a strap or a belt. You would lie on your back and pull both knees into your chest. Place the strap around the ball of your right foot. Your left leg will extend out onto the mat. This is another passive stretch. We're using the belt or the strap to gently pull our right toes back towards the back wall. So here, it's okay to keep a bend in your right leg if you need to. And as a matter of fact, sometimes keeping a slight bend helps stretch this part even more, like really getting into your hamstrings. When we straighten the leg, it starts to really get into our calves as well. So again, tune in with your body and adjust accordingly. You want both of your shoulders to be planted on the mat, and you're breathing, and you're very, very gently pulling on the strap. And breathe. So again, you would be here for a little while, at least 10 breaths. And then you would inhale and slowly let your leg come back to center. Exhale, your right leg will open to the right. And you breathe, breathe, breathe. And then inhale, back up. Exhale, right leg will cross over the body. There's a wall here and I need to adjust, but you get the picture. And then you do the same thing with the left leg. Right leg will extend out onto the mat. Left leg extends up into the air. And then you very gently pull on your strap to pull your left toes back towards the back wall. Breathe, breathe, breathe. At least 10 breaths. Remember, it's okay to keep a bend in your left leg if you need to. Then you would inhale, releasing the tension on your strap or belt. Exhale, left leg opens to the left. You're there for at least 10 breaths. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, left leg crosses over the body for a twist. Both of your shoulders stay planted in your twist. Your strap is going to rest in the opposite hand. So for here, it's left leg. My strap is resting in my right hand. On the right side is my right leg, and my strap came to rest in my left hand. So yeah, those are some of the main things that I do to increase my flexibility in my legs and kind of prep myself for splits. I'll post an actual flow maybe a little later. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Y'all have a good one. Peace.